As I prepared this morning to put this short video together, the Bank of England announced that the UK economy in the second quarter would experience the biggest drop in GDP in living memory, circa 30%. And into the end of this year, we could expect the UK economy year on year to decline by 15%. In addition, over March and April, we've seen a raft of PMI data, which has shown that in construction, manufacturing and services, as we all know, our economy in many instances has ground to a halt. There are two things then that I want to concentrate on from the perspective of procurement professionals. Over this May Day bank holiday weekend, there is an expectation in the United Kingdom that we may start to relax some of the lockdown that has been imposed upon us over the last 7 or 8 weeks. So what does that mean for us as procurement professionals as we start to open our businesses up again? And then secondly, looking into the medium term, what can we expect for our economies in terms of how they're going to recover, and what does that mean for us as procurement professionals and the way we run our procurement function and we manage the relationships around our organization's supply chains. In terms of getting our business back to work, some of the immediate challenges that we may face is, first of all, securing the IT infrastructure that we've worked so well on in the recent weeks to allow people to work remotely, for that to be a more persistent and a more normal way of working, and ensure that those IT systems now can be developed and further developed to allow remote working into the medium term. Obviously, in some instances, we will have to look at securing PPE equipment to allow our workers to come back into the office, if that's what's likely to happen, or if they're on site, to make sure that they're working on site in a way which maintains social distancing and protects the safety of both our employees and any potential customers that they may come into contact with. We also might have to look at our property portfolios. Many procurement functions are responsible for managing our property portfolios, and what does that actually mean for our property portfolios as we have more remote working in both the near term and the longer term. And finally, it is the case that as we take the fight to the virus, in the words of Mike Ryan from the WHO, in the second phase of the battle against the virus, that we're going to have to be involved in testing, in tracing, in tracking, and in isolating those workers who prove to test positive for the virus. Our organizations are going to have to build that capacity in line with those that are provided from the public purse to ensure that we can get our workers back to business in as quick an order as we possibly can. In the medium term, we have to address the issue of supply chain resilience. Does this mean onshoring, inshoring, insourcing, or does it actually mean that we have to maintain our existing supply chains, but get greater transparency as to where there's potential faults in those supply chains, where alternative suppliers may be sourced from, and also getting better data that we can base our supplying decisions upon, and also manage any fractures in that supply chain much more efficiently and effectively than we may have done in the past. This crisis has created the opportunity for us to get closer to our supply chain, for us to build better relationships with our suppliers, to understand the nature of that relationship, and to create a much more cooperative, value-generating supply chain, rather than one which is simply transactional and excessively focused upon price. Nobody's saying that price and efficiency and effectiveness are not going to be important going forward, but the importance of strategic supplier relationships based on cooperation, supplier relationships based on an understanding of the interest of both parties to that relationship, and how that can be how those interests can be maintained and pursued over the longer term to the benefit of both parties, is surely something that we have to consider in our supplier relationships going forward. In order to support this video, I'm also going to provide a second video which looks at the economic environment that we're likely to experience over the next 6, 12, 18 months, both in the United Kingdom, Europe, and more widely in the global economy. As always, if these videos have raised any further questions, please do not hesitate to contact either myself or the team at CIPS, and we will help you in whatever way we possibly can. Finally, I hope you, your families, and the people that you work with are safe and well and continue to be safe and well in these challenging times.